Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I go by Hiram or Bogwa. Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'll be covering the map interface, which is another interface similar to the list interface that's provided to us by Java. So we utilize the map interface to store key value pairs, and there are several implementations of it. Similar to how we saw with the list interface, there was the array list, there was the linked list. The same goes for the map interface. So today we'll be covering the HashMap implementation of it, but again we'll focus on the HashMap today. So the first thing that I'll do is define a map variable. And then I'll go ahead and import the class. And similar to the list interface, it exists in the java.util package. So if you look at the variable definition, we define it as map string, comma string. The first variable type defines the key variable type, and the second one defines the value variable type. And then I'll go ahead and click into the class. And as you can see, it's a public interface, and it has a key and it has a value. With that interface, it provides us with several methods that will need to be implemented by the implementation class. So we have size is empty, contains key, contains value, put, remove. So those are just a few of the functionalities that we would need to implement if we were to implement this interface. But again, Java already has an implementation of the map interface. So with that, I'll go ahead and initialize this variable. And as you can see, I've initialized it to the HashMap. So let's go into the HashMap and see. As you can already guess, the HashMap is a class that implements the map interface. And here, if we look at it, we see that it's defined as a public class HashMap with the key value. And it has the implements a map of key value. So I'll start by adding some data in here. Now as you can see, this is how we add data to the map variable. We call the put method, and in there we pass a key that needs to be of the same type as the one that we defined here, and the same thing for the value. So if I was to define this value as, let's say, an integer, then our put function will not work because it's expecting that to be a number. And again, you can define these variables to be whatever type you want. They can even be classes that you've created. But as you can see here, I want to make this into string since that's what I'm using. And I'll go ahead and first print out this data. Now if we look at how I'm printing this data, I'm taking the data collection variable and I'm getting the key set. So again, this is a method that's provided to us by the map interface, which is the key set. That returns the list of keys in that collection. So that will return the name, grade, and course. And from there, we can print out the key, and then we can call data collection.get. And that's a method that allows us to get the value. So we're going to get these values based on the key that we pass. The key has to be unique. So if I was to do that, pass the grade, the same value, but this time pass it as B+, it's gonna override the value that we had set initially since they're using the same key, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that the keys are unique. So I'll go ahead and run this. And as you can see, in this instance, the grade that was printed was B plus, not A plus, since I overrode that key. And there the values were printed out. So something else that you can do is remove a value. And I'll remove based on the key, and in this instance I'll do grade, and then I'll print the data out again. So I'll refactor this and move it to a method. Okay, so now as you can see, the first thing I'll do is I'll add those values to the collection, and then I'll print out the collection, and then after that I'll remove grade using the key, which is grade, and then I'll print out that data. So the second print, it should not contain the grade values, it should just print out name and course. And let's go ahead and run that and see. And as you can see, in the second instance, it printed out the name and the course, and that was it. And that covers the basics of a map interface. Now again, as I say, there are other implementations, and you can read up on that. I'll put a link in the description that you can look into to learn a little bit more about this. But the core things to remember is that the key has to be unique. If I re-enter the same data with the same key, it's going to override whatever I had before, and that it's used specifically for key value data collection. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't, and also check me out on Instagram at coderush.io.